Jim, are you going to announce these COVID clinics? We should do that. Do you think we could? It's on the back of our calendar. Could we announce them sometime?
I can look at that, yes, but we're okay. We can go ahead and start, John.
Oh, okay. All right, we will call the pre-council meeting for Monday, June 21st to order. Would you like to call the roll, Ms. Sensky?
Mr. Roskovich?
Here.
Mr. Spielman?
Here.
Mrs. Foglio?
Here.
Mr. Crawford?
Here.
Ms. Young?
Here.
Ms. Harris?
Here.
Ms. Haynes?
I'm here.
Mr. Timonier?
Here.
Mr. Franklin?
Here.
And Ms. Welch?
Here.
Okay, very good. So today, June 21st, this is the longest day of the year. So everybody feel free to talk as long as you want. We have extra daylight. Okay, but so I don't see much on our agenda this afternoon. Mr. Timonier has added some things, so we will talk about those. And then, are there any? Well, Ms. Foglio, you'll have a finance report.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble with my internet. Did you ask me if I had a report?
Yeah, you'll have a finance report. There was no.
Yes, I do.
Okay, there was no economic meeting. I think we had that at the last. There was no meeting, so we won't have a report there. And I don't think the other committees are meeting till next week, so we shouldn't have too much to do. So I guess we'll go right into the city manager's report, unless somebody else has anything they want to bring up before we get started. No? Okay, we'll go to the city manager's report.
Thanks, Mr. President. I do have several things to ask for tonight. The first one is Cooster's Water. This is an ordinance to enter an agreement with them as the most responsible bid for the mechanical bar screen project down at the wastewater treatment plant. It's the amount not to exceed $231,015, and that will be taken from Fund 504. Now, keep in mind, if you recall, this is just for the equipment. Now that we have the equipment and the specs, we will now bid out the actual installation of this equipment. It takes about 15 weeks lead time on this. So we wanted to get this in process, know exactly what we had, and then we'll bid out the installation of this piece of machinery next. So there is still more money that needs to be spent on this project. So that's that. Next is an ordinance with Severino Construction as the most responsible bid for the 531 culvert. I know we've been waiting for this for a long time. Amount not to exceed $210,593.32. That will be taken from Fund 412. Remember, out of the 210, ODOT is contributing 50,000 towards that, but the 210 is the total amount of the project. Next, we do need a pickup truck down at Water Pollution. So this is an ordinance to enter an agreement with Bob Ross Auto Group through state purchasing in the amount of $37,867. That will be taken from Fund 504. The lead times on these trucks are a long time as well. So we'd like to get this into the queue and get this ordered. We did do a local bid. Unfortunately, the numbers were a lot higher than what they were on state purchasing, and the lead times were no faster. So it's just better for us, unfortunately, right now to do through state purchasing. They were about $4,000 or $5,000 cheaper doing it this way. Next, I know I had mentioned to council at the last meeting when we had discussed, I'd like an ordinance to authorize 2 agreements for educational stipends in the amount of $12,000 each for persons that are on the civil service list currently and that will be hired by the police division that will be attending the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy. We've done something similar to this in the past when we've had good candidates that had to go through OPATA. This time is no different. We have some good candidates that do need to go through that. And unfortunately, this is what we're up against at other departments and other municipalities, other police departments, where they pay an educational stipend so that people can attend and finish off the OPATA. It takes about 6 months to do so when you're going full time. So we're hopefully going to put 2 people through that. If you've read the agreement there, there's several things in it for clawbacks if they don't work out or if they're with us less than 5 years. So I think we're pretty protected by the agreement that we wrote there. And I thank Mr. Franklin for helping construct that so we can get that working. Any questions on that one?
Hey, I have a question, Jim. So you said it's about 6 months for them to get through that academy.
Between 5 and 6 months, yes.
So the 12,000 is for 6 months. Is
That's correct.
that enough?
I think it is. We based it off an hourly wage, for 40 hours a week. So I think we're okay there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
And that's 2 people at this time. And
Yeah, we'll make offers to 2 people. I'm not sure if both of them will take it. I'm pretty sure 1 at least will.
okay.
Mhm.
And then we talked about maybe needing 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah. So
Will
2
we
other
make
people
it
that
up?
we've already made offers to are OPATA certified, so they can start quicker. They won't need a stipend like this.
Okay.
And then the remainder on our list did not have the certification yet.
All right. So just these 2 guys. Okay.
Yes. Mhm. Okay.
Sorry,
Next
that was 12 each, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Mhm.
Next is a ordinance entering agreement with GPD Group to provide engineering, design, and construction administration for the administration building roof and masonry project. Those of you that have toured the plant on the admin building, we have some roof issues and we have some brick issues on the side of the building that need to be taken care of. And so this is not to exceed $20,000. Funding will come out of the 504 fund. And once they get everything together, we'll be going out to bid the actual roof itself for that. And we'll be moving on that. Next is an ordinance to enter into agreement with Great Wave Communications for the purpose of providing on-site IT services for the city for a period of 2 years at $2,800 per month. And that will be taken from the general fund. They are currently our IT providers. We've been extremely happy with them. We only received 2 bids. The other bid was over $8,000 a month. So we're happy to stay with Great Wave as we have here. And then I believe I need your consent on this, but I would like to reappoint Janet Vettel to the City Port Authority effective immediately with a term to end January 22nd, 2025. And also reappoint Mark Brockway for the City Port Authority effective immediately with the term to end April 1st, 2025. And that's all I have for my report, Mr. President.
That's okay. And we vote on those, or we just
I think it's just a voice consent vote.
yeah, a voice. Yeah, I don't think we need a roll call. Okay. And then I'm sure you know this, but I was just reading in the paper where I think it was Lakewood is they're doing big improvements to their wastewater treatment plant, and the article was about how they're using some of the is it called CARES funds? What are the funds?
The American Recovery Act.
Yeah, they're using some of those funds for parts of it. Their thing was, I should have wrote down or cut the article. It was like, I want to say it was like over $100 million that they were working with this plant or something. And they were going to use, I forget, the numbers were big. I was surprised at the numbers because I know I think it was Lakewood. I know they're a little bit, they're a bigger town than we are, and they might serve neighboring towns, maybe Rocky, I don't know, but I'm sure you're aware, as you and Tracy have gone to those meetings, I'm sure you're finding out what we could use these funds for and what we can't and such. So
Yeah, we are, and we have another one coming up here on the 24th. Unfortunately, we have yet to be told when the money is coming in, and we do know that there are certain projects that are part of it. As I've said to council, we still have to do the big study of the collection system and the plant itself. And once we finally know when this money is coming, I've already said that I would like to commit at least half of that project. So, $250,000 coming out of the Recovery Act. But we do have other needs in the city, and we're going to try to balance this out as fairly as we can.
Yeah, sure. Anybody? Another thing I was, this came up at our Finance and Personnel Committee on Friday about, the reduction in income tax and so forth. And I was reading also in the paper, I probably shouldn't read the paper, but I was reading in the paper about the Ohio Senate, what's in their budget. There's a lot of scary stuff in that budget, but one of the things was about this income tax collection going to, taking it away from municipalities where people work and allowing it to go to their home, where if they were working at home and so forth. So I think they were putting that back in the budget, but that sort of came up. So that may, if that budget passes, which I'm assuming it will, be something we'll have to watch also. So, yeah.
Mr. President, one thing that I did forget with last week's announcement of Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday, we are going to be working with our unions and the staff here to come up with how we are going to acknowledge that date. I know it was kind of thrown on everybody very quickly. It's been kind of scattered. I did talk to my colleagues in both Geneva and Conneaut. They're trying to weed through all this as well. I think the federal government gave some people off today. Other places are doing floating holidays. So we're going to try to figure that out as best we can after some discussion with the employees. And at that time, I will have to come back to council for some kind of ordinance acknowledging that we're going to honor that day and acknowledge Juneteenth for the employees.
Do you know, will that be like a holiday that goes to a Monday?
Yeah, in the future, I do anticipate that if it falls on a weekend, it would just be either what traditionally we do is if the holiday's on a Saturday, we observe it on Friday. If the holiday is on a Sunday, we observe it on Monday.
Okay, good. Well, good. Okay, does anybody have anything for the manager? No? Okay, Mr. Franklin?
Thank you, Mr. President. I will have an announcement to make, and I will be requesting an executive session.
Okay. All right, thank you. And that'll be for personnel, employment, personnel dismissal, what we call that?
I can specify it more fully at the time, but it will be for appointment of personnel, yes.
All right, we'll do it at that time then. All right, thank you. Okay. Ms. Welch?
The majority of what I would have discussed will be probably in Mrs. Foglio's report. So the only thing I have for this evening is my appropriation ordinance.
Okay.
Did anybody have any questions regarding those appropriations? Okay, that's all I had then.
Okay. And then Ms. Sensky, do you have anything in the clerk of, you'll have a report, or will you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'll just have a little thing to say, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody realizes that the city manager's requests from last meeting are in the legislation, and then the first 4 on his report that he talked about are also on tonight's legislation agenda. So we have 6 pieces altogether.
So we have 6 or 1, 2, 6 or 7.
We have 6 pieces of legislation for tonight, but he's got more for the next for the next meeting.
Well, we'll go over it when we get to that part.
Okay.
I think I have 7, but you'll correct me when I'm wrong.
Okay. Give you an extra.
Huh?
Gave you an extra.
All right, yeah. Okay. All right, anybody, any questions for any of our city officials at this time? No? All right, so it looks like on July 6th will be our next council meeting, because July 4th is Sunday, so July 5th will be Monday, will be a holiday, and that'll move our meeting to July 6th. And that meeting will be held in the council chambers, I believe. It would be my recommendations that we keep our dividers and we keep our safety protocol measures in place. I guess my question is, what will we do about opening the meeting to the public? Will it just be council members and city officials? Maybe Jim or so, I haven't kept up. Is there a limit on the number of people? I don't, like at a meeting, 10 or less, or I know we started that way last year. What are the, what's happening with all that now? Does anybody know?
I know that we have spaced chairs in the audience to be 6 feet apart. And there's a lot of chairs down there.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate, and as soon as I say it, it's going to happen, but I wouldn't anticipate having throngs of people coming. But I don't think we can, and Mr. Franklin can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we can say or limit the people.
Mr. President.
The meetings are open to the public. We got to open them to the public. Like it's the individual responsibility to either come in or not come in. Like if people aren't comfortable, don't come to the meeting. But I don't think we can limit it if it's a public meeting.
Mr. President.
Yeah.
The one restriction that the city manager had imposed that probably can continue for public meetings is requesting that people who have not been vaccinated wear masks.
Okay.
There are no restrictions on people who've been vaccinated, and I would even extend that to people who've had the coronavirus and have recovered. But right now in our buildings, we are asking, and it's on the honor system, we're asking people who have not been vaccinated to please continue to wear masks.
Okay. So I think that's a reasonable request. Anybody have any trouble with that? I know I see that on a lot of stores and places where I go in. And I still wear my mask. So I wonder if people are in there thinking, oh, he's not vaccinated, but I am, but I still want to wear my mask, when I'm in there, because I don't think everybody else is. But all right, I guess we'll open it, and we'll, my only thought, Stacy, we had quite a response to our zoning change along the lake, and I know we are going to have a separate meeting for that. I just didn't know that people thought, hey, I'm going to get to the first council meeting, and then
maybe, but
yeah.
I'm sorry. I have been in contact with those folks that had submitted emails and letters, and so I've got a list of people who want to participate in the work session. Showing up at the next meeting I would have no idea, and we haven't scheduled work session, so when we do that, then we can look at that.
Okay, yeah, and like I said, they're welcome. Obviously, they're welcome.
Right.
No, I would hate to have them come there and think, hey, we want to talk about this, and we're not ready for that yet, so.
Right. And then I didn't know if you wanted to consider keeping the pre-council at 6:30, or if you wanted to put it back to 6 o'clock.
how does anybody have any thoughts on that? We've been doing all right, but I don't know if our agendas are going to pick up and get busier as we get closer, as we get back in person. Anybody have any thoughts on any of that?
I think I'm fine with 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock or 6:30?
6 o'clock I feel that Zoom meetings, discussions have not been as robust as they should be.
Okay. That, I have no problem with that. If anybody, other counselors have ideas or thoughts?
No, I think before when we were in person, if we didn't need all of the time, we discussed, meeting at 6:30 if needed. So if we get back in person and see that we're still not speaking a lot, then we can talk about taking it to 6:30. We
Okay.
can start off at 6. I'm fine with that.
All right.
And so that, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. President, the other question then, will you want to have that pre-council meeting in pre-council chambers then, or in the big room?
My personal feeling is the big room. I think we could just stay in the big room for everything. So we'll do it. We'll start at 6 o'clock on July the 6th. And like Octavia or someone else will mention, if we decide, as time goes on, we decide we don't need that time, then we can go back to 6:30. Is that okay with everybody? Okay. Very good. Okay. All right. Is there anything else we need to discuss coming up?
Now that's our tour day too, right? That's when we tour the building. So is that 4 o'clock or 5?
Well, we can talk about that. I'll send an email out. How about that?
Okay.
That's a reminder. Okay.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. So that's good. Okay. All right. Anything else? Then I think we have about 7 minutes, so we will go we will go silent, Mr. Timonier. Okay. Yeah. We're going to call the regular city council meeting for Ashtabula City Council meeting for Monday, June 21st, 2021 to order. At this time, Mrs. Fogel will lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to let your inspiration precede this council's actions and all present here today, and your assistance further us so that every word and work of ours may take its beginning from you, and so begun, may through you reach its completion. Amen.
Amen. Ms. Sensky?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Would you please call the roll?
Ms. Harris?
Here.
Ms. Haynes?
Here.
Mrs. Foglio?
Here.
Mr. Crawford?
Here.
Ms. Young?
Here.
Mr. Spielman?
Here.
Mr. Roskovics?
Here.
Mr. Timonier?
Here.
Mr. Franklin?
Here.
And Ms. Welch?
Here.
So we do not have to excuse anyone this evening. We have a quorum established. We are meeting the requirements of the Sunshine Law. At this time, if we can have a motion to suspend council rules.
So moved, Ward 1.
Second, Ward 4.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Ms. Harris. Is there any discussion on this? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Haynes?
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Spielman?
No.
And Mr. Roskovics?
Yes. So we will suspend the council rules by a 6-1 vote. All right. Do we have minutes to approve of this evening?
Yes, we have two sets. The Ashtabula City Council held a virtual public hearing at 6 p.m. on June 7th to discuss recommended language for a proposed new chapter 1123 Lakefront Residential Zone. Members present were Mr. Roskovics, Mr. Spielman, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young, Ms. Harris, and Ms. Haynes. Officers present were Mr. Timonier, Mr. Franklin, Ms. Welch, and Mrs. Sensky. And then the June 7th, 2021 regular meeting of the Ashtabula City Council was called to order at 7 p.m. by the council president. The Ward 1 councilor offered the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Members present were Ms. Young, Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Crawford, Mr. Spielman, and Mr. Roskovics. Officers present were Mr. Timonier, Mr. Franklin, Ms. Welch, and Mrs. Sensky.
Thank you. Can we have a motion on the minutes?
So moved, Ward 1.
Ward 3 seconds.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Ms. Young. Any discussion on the minutes? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
and Mr. Roskovics.
Yes. The minutes will stand approved by a 7-0 vote. We will go to the city manager's report. Mr. Timonier.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have several things to request tonight. First, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with Coosters Water of South Carolina as the most responsible bid for the water pollution control mechanical bar screen project in the amount not to exceed $231,015. Funding for this project will be taken from Fund 504.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Ward 2 will second.
Ms. Foglio moves, Mr. Crawford second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich.
Yes. We will add that by a 7-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with Severino Construction here in Ashtabula, Ohio, as the most responsible bid for the 531 culvert project in the amount not to exceed $210,593.32. Funding for this project will be taken from Fund 412.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Ms. Foglio moves. Mr. Roskovich will second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, we will add that item by a 7-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with Bob Ross Auto of Centerville, Ohio, through the State of Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Program for the purchase of a GMC 3500 truck for the Water Pollution Control Department in an amount not to exceed $37,867. Funding for this purchase will be taken from Fund 504.
Mr. President, I move on the manager's recommendation.
Foglio moves.
Second, Ward 4.
Ward 4, Ms. Harris seconds. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
and Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, we will do so by a 7. We will add that by a 7-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to authorize 2 agreements for educational stipends in the amount of $12,000 each with persons who are on the current civil service list for hire by the police division and who are attending the Ohio Peace Officers Training Academy.
Mr. President, I move on the manager's recommendation.
Ward 5 second.
Ms. Foglio moves, Ms. Haynes seconds. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, we will add that item by a 7-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with GPD Group of Youngstown, Ohio to provide engineering, design, and construction administration for the Water Pollution Control Administration Building Roof and Masonry Project in the amount not to exceed $20,000. Funding for this expense will be taken from the Water Pollution Control 504 fund.
Mr. President, I move on the manager's recommendation.
Foglio moves.
Ward 2 will second.
Mr. Crawford will second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, we will add that by a 7-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with Great Wave Communications of Conneaut, Ohio for the purpose of providing on-site IT services for the city for a period of 2 years at a cost of $2,800 per month. Funding for this expense will be taken from Fund 101.
Mr. President, I move on the manager's recommendation.
Ward 3 seconds.
Ms. Foglio moves, Ms. Young seconds. Thank you. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
and Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, we will add that item by a 7-0 vote.
And lastly, with council's consent, I would like to reappoint Janet Bettel to the City Port Authority effective immediately for a term to end January 22nd, 2025. And I would also like to reappoint Mark Brockway for the City Port Authority effective immediately with a term to end April 1st, 2025.
I don't believe we need a motion and a second. We just count all in favor of, Now, how can we do that, Stacy? That would confuse you. Do we need,
Well, maybe just ask if anybody has any objections.
we could do that. Any objections? Okay, seeing none, I'm sorry, did somebody say something? Okay, seeing none, then those appointments will stand. Mr. Timonier, okay?
Thank you. That's all I have for that report. I do want to mention that we have several drive-through walk-up type clinics coming up. We did have one this Saturday down on Bridge Street. That's already over, but just wanted to mention that we're trying to branch out and hit different areas. But this week we have one on Tuesday, June 22nd from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So that's tomorrow morning. We will have both Johnson & Johnson and Moderna at that clinic. If it's bad weather outside, we will come inside to council chambers to do that. The following Tuesday, June 29th, we will have a clinic from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. And the following Tuesday after that, July 8th, we will have a clinic from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. Again, those will be in the parking lot unless there's inclement weather, then they will be inside. And Johnson & Johnson and Moderna will be at both of those clinics. Mr. President, that's all I have for my report.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I have a couple questions for the city manager. I've been getting a lot of reports on 58th Street and the offshoot streets, and the residents are requesting more police patrolling between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. It seems that speeding is quite an issue there during that time frame. So that is a request for 58th Street and their offshoots. And then the other thing that I wanted, actually, I want to bring this up. I don't know if council can vote on this or if this has to come through Mr. Timonier, but we were at Walnut Beach. We've been at Walnut Beach a couple weekends painting the railings. And what I observed is that our concessionaire is not opening. Therefore, our restrooms down there are not opening. And what I'm seeing are families coming to our beach. These are local people, these are out of town people, and they are leaving because of the lack of restrooms. I feel really strongly that we need to have our restrooms opened up for visitors. There's only one first impression you get to make. And I think if we indeed wish to become a tourist attraction, I think that concession stand has to be in pristine shape, and we have to have suitable restrooms for our guests.
Ms. Haynes, I do agree with you. First off, the concession stand should only be closed when there's inclement weather and people shouldn't be on the beach to begin with. So if there's an issue with that, I can have a conversation with them. I believe the earliest they start is 11 a.m. We have already had one break-in down at the beach. The reason that it's only open when the concessionaire is there, as you all know, you have all gotten complaints repeatedly about the conditions of the restrooms when people use them when the concessionaire is not open. I will be more than happy to open them up. Know that you're going to get those complaints. So whether it's the impression you want of what you have gotten in the past or how we worked it out last year, which seemed to work out very well, it was only open when the concessionaire was there. It's up to you. You want them open, I'll open them.
Mr. Manager,
Yes.
who's responsible for cleaning the restrooms?
The concessionaire is, and they do that when they're there. And they're usually there between 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., I believe. Again, unless there's inclement weather.
So they're responsible for cleaning the restrooms.
That's part of the contract, yes.
That's part of their contract.
That's correct. Any operator of the concession stand has always been required to clean the restrooms. We provide the supplies, they just provide the manpower.
Mr. Manager,
Maybe that's
is there an opportunity for the YO program to be used in the concession area to help with that?
Possibly, but here again, that would require them being open when the concession stand is not. And had we actually torn that down and built one like we wanted to, we would probably have a lot less issues with the way it's designed and be able to do this a little bit more effectively. But that would just have to make sure that that's open. Other doors are locked in there, as we had some issues with people prying into the actual concession area. So it would just be something we'd have to deal with.
I definitely don't want to speak for the YO program, but maybe there could be a conversation. I know that sometimes, I know that they travel around with their youth at times, or maybe if there was some kind of plan in place or understanding, there could be like certain stops at different times throughout the day, throughout the week, where they could clean up and then go to their next site of whatever they're going to do. So, I don't know if it has to be when the concessionaire is there, or if it could be something that's discussed with the YO program, that they could be the youth would be employed, so to speak, to stop there at certain times throughout the week. So it's just an idea I thought, would be worth the discussion.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
this weekend, they were not there Saturday or Sunday, just for your information. I just wanted to let you know that on the weekend, I realized Sunday in the afternoon there was rain, but there was not on Saturday. And those are going to be your busiest days on the beach.
Were the lifeguards there?
I don't know.
I mean, if we had small craft advisories or something like that, that's another reason that they would not be there.
Mr.
I'll open them up and then let me know how it goes.
Is there any type of funding available that we could hire somebody to, go in and tidy up once or twice a day? I mean, it wouldn't take long, I don't think.
I have personally done those restrooms on the weekends. It's not a quick battle. They pretty much get abused down there. Bringing people in on the weekends is overtime. And that's why we have the agreement with the concessionaire to clean the restrooms when they're there.
Mr. President. So that just goes back to like when I brought up the YO program. Leading, I think that the YO program gets funded by, their program by JFS. So no money would be coming out of our pockets or the city's pockets to do that. They would get paid to be on site to do that work. And that's why I thought maybe, so sometimes they're like traveling in vans and, there's an adult with them. So if there was a discussion had, there would be an adult with them, they would go do their job and then be with the adult, leave with the adult. And I don't know if they can do that or not, but I just think it might be worth the discussion to see if they can.
Absolutely.
Mr. President, the other thing that I would add, I mean, there's weeds growing out of the concession stand. I would just say that maybe as counselors, to me, Walnut Beach is our crown jewel of this city. Absolutely our crown jewel. But if we were to walk around that, and we've been picking up and cleaning up, I think it's worth a walk to see what does that look like when I come to Ashtabula, bring the family to Ashtabula, Walnut Beach. Maybe I want to spend a day on Bridge Street, and then I go down to Walnut Beach. What is that experience like at our concession stand? I just think that's a really valid, something that we have to look at. And we only have one shot to make a good first impression.
I agree with Jane. Because if it's not a nice impression, they're going to go to Conneaut or they're going to go to Geneva Beach and they're going to take their money with them. So I totally agree with Jane.
Does the park open at like dawn, like Walnut Beach opens when the sun comes up, right? People could go down there.
The beach is always open. There's people down there all the time.
All the time, but the concession stand is only open at 11 when, or the restrooms are only open at 11 when these the people are supposed to show up to sell the food, right? So Yeah, yeah. I can see that could be quite a bit of time where, it's not accessible. All right. Any other comments on this or concerns? Okay. All right, we will go on. Anybody else have anything for the manager? All right, we'll go on. Mr. Franklin?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have an announcement. I would like to retire from public service this year. And with that in mind, I have tentatively selected September 4th as the effective date of my resignation as city solicitor. The next step for council, of course, is to appoint a replacement for me per the charter. And if council would be so kind, I would like to have an opportunity to discuss the process of selecting or appointing a replacement city solicitor with you in executive session at the end of today's meeting.
Okay. Okay. So we will request an executive session for the purpose of employment.
Appointment of personnel.
Employment of personnel at the conclusion of tonight's meeting. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved, Ward 1.
Okay, in a second. I will.
Ward 3.
Oh,
Oh, you
Ward
got
3.
it?
Thank you, Ms. Young.
Mhm.
Is there any discussion? Okay, will you call the roll on the executive session?
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes,
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes,
and Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, so we will go into executive session at the conclusion of this meeting for the reason of employment, appointment of employment personnel appointment. And Ms. Sensky, you'll remind me of that because I know I'll adjourn the meeting. But you would do that at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Franklin. And so you will be with us for the next couple of months, July and August, and then.
Yes, good Lord willing, I'll be with you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Ms. Welch, do you have a report this evening?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'm formally requesting an ordinance to make supplemental increases to appropriations in the general public health nursing, special projects, and water pollution funds for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Ashtabula, state of Ohio for the period January 1 through December 31st, 2021.
Mr. President, I move on the finance director's recommendation.
Ward 2 will second.
Ms. Foglio moves, Mr. Crawford seconds. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
yes,
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
yes,
Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, we will add that item by a 7-0 vote.
Thank you,
Anything-
Mr. President. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Welch. Ms. Sensky?
I'm so excited to report that I finally have my first granddaughter as of Saturday, around noon. Little Brooklyn Jade was born. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Now, though, I have 7 grandchildren and also 7 council members. So I just wondered if that's a coincidence. I submitted 6 more educational points to the IIMC today. That'll leave 15 and a half more to earn. I should be able actually to get that done by the September 2-year mark, or shortly thereafter. And then at that point, I would submit a little bit of money and they will tell me that I'm certified.
Well, very good. That's going fast. You are working at, I don't know the expression, but you're working very fast. Fastly.
Thank you.
So you have 6 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right. So we will, anything else? Committee reports, Ms. Haynes?
Our next meeting is it July 13th?
That's what it says, yes.
July 3rd. Yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Foglio?
Yes, I have a report.
Okay, good.
We had a meeting on Friday, June 18th, and we had 2 guests, Ray Gruber, president of the county AFL-CIO, and Steve Lanham, who's president of the local 1197. And Mr. Gruber asked the Finance and Personnel Committee and City Council to consider supporting an updated federal labor reform bill. The Protecting the Right to Organize Act was passed by the United States House of Representatives and has the support of President Biden. Mr. Gruber explained that the PRO Act protects the rights of workers, including the right to organize without fear of termination by their employer. Mr. Gruber explained private sector's employers follow the law, the federal law, while public employers follow the state law. Member Mr. Roskovich summated by stating if council adopts the resolution, they are supporting the PRO Act and the rights of working people in the private sector. 15 cities in the state of Ohio adopted a resolution in support of the bill. Mr. Gruber asked the bill not to be viewed as a political propaganda, but as a bill supporting human rights. The Finance and Personnel Committee voted to bring this topic out of the committee and to full council for discussion. And I believe, Stacy, are you going to be discussing this language further later in the meeting, or how did we leave that?
I've got the 2 letters that Mr. Gruber and Mr. Lanham submitted earlier, and I've shared them with everybody before. I know that we also, I also shared a resolution that was from the AFL, National AFL-CIO website, which was not really what Mr. Gruber and Mr. Lanham were, how they wanted to word it. I've got samples from Akron, and I've got a sample of what they asked me to help them with.
Okay. So that's forthcoming then, correct? Or
if
are
that's
we
council's will.
Okay, so we'll be discussing that now or later, or Mr. President? I don't know how that works.
Well, we can, we would need a motion so we could discuss it. So I will move that we have a resolution prepared with regards to the PRO Act.
Can I second that?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I will second that.
Okay, now if there's discussion on that at this time.
Yeah, I'd like to discuss it.
Okay.
And I guess I want to refer to our solicitor, our legal counsel. Didn't you recommend that we did not support this?
I did indicate that the statements contained in the sample resolution were not matters of unquestionable fact. They were matters of opinion and debatable opinions. There is a large body of criticism of this act that is out there. It does not directly affect the city's operations. I believe some of the language in the resolution that was proposed is unnecessarily antagonistic toward some local employers, a lot of local employers. So I stated, in my opinion, it was not in that version, it was not a serious resolution for this city council to adopt. I would urge all of you to read the act and read the commentaries, pro and con, as to each of the provisions, and consider carefully if this is something that the city of Ashtabula, as represented by the 7 of you, should be weighing in on.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin. And I think Ms. Sensky alluded to the first resolution we were given. That was the one from, who was it from, Stacy? The AFL. Who was that from?
Yeah, the National AFL-CIO.
Yeah, the first one, that first resolution we were given was quite long, quite involved, and I think that's what Mr. Franklin referred to in his email to us. Now, the resolution that we saw Friday when the gentleman came to see us, like the one from Akron, it didn't even take up a half a sheet of paper, I don't think, and then the sample one. So they were quite simple in form and nature. And so did everybody receive those, Ms. Sensky, or just the Finance and Personnel Committee?
I believe I sent the Finance and Personnel agenda to everybody.
Okay. So
But-
yeah, the Akron resolution was quite simple. We support the PRO Act, and basically that was it. So is there any other?
Yes, I have another question, and I guess it's directed to Mr. Franklin again. So let me just make sure I understand what you're saying. That this really doesn't affect Ashtabula. This is just politics being brought to a local level that could have a negative impact on future economic growth here. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that was
if you read the act, at the heart of the act is a provision that would do away with what are commonly called right to work laws which do not require people to join a union, even if the workplace in which they're employed is represented by a union. 26 states have adopted right to work laws. This would make those illegal. It would make illegal laws that say that when people object to paying a fair share fee to a union to which they don't belong, they can be excused from making those payments, and it would compel the employer to deduct those monies from their paycheck over their objection. There is also an expansion of personal liability for management level people in the private sector, even for an inadvertent violation of this law. They can be sued. They can be held personally liable. They can be held personally liable even if they are simply executing company policy. I urge you to read it and decide if this is something that the city of Ashtabula, a public employer, should be weighing in on. I don't think it's on our side of the street, to be honest with you. And I think the debate is best carried forward by people who have a more cogent interest in what this legislation does.
Anybody else?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes.
So are we discussing right now whether it will be further drafted or revised? Like what exactly are we trying to decide right now?
We're the Finance and Personnel Committee that would like to have a resolution prepared saying that the city endorses or supports the PRO Act. So what we would do tonight is have a resolution prepared, and then at the next meeting in June, we would vote the resolution through or not through, depending on how it was worded, and so forth. So tonight we would just be asking that a resolution be prepared. And then at the next meeting in July, or second meeting in July, whenever, then we would vote on the actual resolution. Maybe during that time, people can become more familiar with the act if they want, if they are. So I'm familiar with some of it. So go ahead.
So should we be taking the time now to become more familiar with it before we have it drafted? Or to me, I guess I want to learn more about what it is, I guess. I read the resolution, as Stacy said, that she sent the agenda. I still kind of need to try to figure out what it means, maybe even look at that meeting, because I believe it probably was on Facebook, right? So I can go back and look at it and see what was said so I can better understand what they're saying. So I'm not sure if I should be voting to draft it or not if I don't really understand it. So I guess I'm just confused about the steps.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
I do have a further comment. So it was 2/3 of the Finance Committee that voted. I was, and I'm a small business owner. I've got to say, very honestly, the language that was sent to me offended me. And I just feel like now is not the time to introduce resolutions that are going to further divide people. I feel that we need to come together as a city, and there's nothing good that is going to happen to the city of Ashtabula out of this. I just feel this as being a device. I feel like it's just political propaganda, and I was very offended by the first draft that I read. I was very offended as a small business owner. That's all I want to say.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Hayes. In the first draft, it was long and it was involved and maybe said a lot more than it should have. I'm going to disagree with my friend. I think good things would happen because of this. I think if this is not there, I think it could hurt working people in the city of Ashtabula. If they lose their right to belong to a union, if right to work laws take over. So I think it could hurt the residents of Ashtabula. So I can see why these two gentlemen brought it to us. And I can see why 15 cities have adopted it as a way maybe to support the working people in their districts or in their cities and so forth. So anybody else have any comments?
Mr. President, I just like to, I know we're having some good dialogue back and forth on this, but I just want to say, this rhetoric, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm speaking for anyone, this is not related to the 5 unions that we have within the city. I've worked extremely hard to have good relationships with our unions, and they have worked with us quite a bit. So I just want to make it clear I'm very much in support of our city unions here.
Thank you, Mr. Timiner. You're right. This does not deal with our public unions and stuff. Okay. Any other comments or questions then? All right. So we do have a motion on the floor and a second to prepare a resolution. So we will call if seeing no other discussion, we will call the roll on this item.
Ms. Harris?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if that's an answer I can give. I don't know.
Well, and I'm not going to sway you one way or the other, but like I said, you'll have, if it's something that as you learn more about, you're uncomfortable with, you have another opportunity next month or down the road to vote, to vote no.
Okay. With that being noted, I guess I'm okay with it being drafted, but yes.
Thank you. Ms. Haynes,
No.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
No,
and Mr. Roskovich.
Yes. So we will have a resolution prepared by a 5-2 vote. And like I said, then as we get into it more, more time for discussion and another vote on it. So, okay, thank you. Anything else from your committee, Ms. Foglio?
Yes, I have a little bit more. We had our finance director's report, and she noted that she had a little concern stemming from the monthly financial report, which is the income tax revenue. July was the deadline to pay the income tax in 2020, and this year it was in May. While comparing the collection at this time of the deadlines to pay, she noted a deficit of $437,000, give or take a few hundred, which is 10% down from last year. The quarterly collection of withholding taxes was included in the 2020 figure and is one reason for the difference, but the pandemic and unemployment also play a role. There is insufficient data to report an accurate amount of income tax filers who have yet to file. Determining changes to the figure will take more time to review. The city unemployment statistics are low and job opportunities are plentiful, but it seems a large percentage of the population left the workforce due to the pandemic. With significantly less people currently working, future withholdings and income tax revenue will also likely be less. Future revenue is uncertain due to changes in collection of municipal income tax in the proposed 2021 state budget, which may include refunding some 2020 income tax revenue, as we discussed earlier. The city is waiting for the American Rescue Plan Act fund distribution and requires a formulaic determination of the lost revenue. The finance director processed 1.3 million in assessments with the county auditor. Trash assessments totaled $424,613. Trash delinquencies under the minimum of $250 cannot be assessed to property taxes per the Ohio Revised Code, and approximately $90,000 was written off due to property sales. Alternative ways to recoup the lost revenue have been suggested, but most lack serious consequences and ways to collect. The city manager reported internal personnel changes within departments. Chief Stell will soon make his recommendations to hire from the eligible police officer candidates. Those receiving the Dr. Shelby Scholarship Award must attend the Ohio Peace Officers Training Academy. An entrance exam for the fire department is scheduled for September. Police officers also controlling traffic on Lake Avenue are off duty for the city and are hired and paid by the contractor. So none of that's coming out of city funds. Our next meeting will be held on Friday, July 16th at 8:30 a.m. in council chambers.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Foglio. Any questions or comments? Thank you. Public Works Committee, Mr. Crawford.
We are scheduled to have our next meeting on Monday, June 28th at 5 p.m. and that's in council chambers and is open to the public.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Mr. Spielman, Safety Forces.
we are going to meet Monday, July 26th at 8:45.
Okay, so July 26th.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Spielman. Okay. All right, anything else? We will go on to our legislative. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. President, if you don't mind, Ms. Haynes, I know a while back I had asked in your committee about some legislation changes for temporary stores and food carts and different things like that. I have yet to receive any feedback from you or the rest of council regarding that. So is this something that I should just be drafting and presenting something?
Yes, Yeah,
I just didn't want to get into another Walnut Boulevard situation, so I will go ahead and draft it.
thank you.
Okay, so we will come to the legislative part of our agenda. Ms. Sensky, you will correct me if I'm wrong, but I see item 2160, a repair and improvements for Lake Avenue. 2161, to acquire a truck for the water treatment plant. 62 is the budget appropriations from Ms. Welch. 63 is the health insurance consulting services. That's from our last meeting. 64 is a change order number 2 with AP O'Hara. 65 is an agreement for the educational stipends for the police candidates. And 66 is the water control, wastewater treatment control. I think that's Cooster. Is that the Cooster water ones? Okay. Am I missing something, Ms. Sensky?
Nope.
Mr. President, just a correction. It's not Lake Avenue, it's Lake Road for the culvert project.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, I thought about it. Thank you, Mr. Timoner. That is Lake Road. So change that in your agenda. 2160, it's a contract for repair and improvements on Lake Road. Thank you. All right. Is there any discussion on any of that? Do we have any correspondence from the public on any of that, Ms. Sensky?
No, we don't.
Okay. So with that in mind, is it council's desire to handle these 7 items by consent agenda?
So moved, Ward 1.
Ms. Foglio moves.
Second, Ward 4.
Ms. Harris? Or was it Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Harris, seconds. Any discussion? Please call the roll on consent agenda.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes,
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes,
Mr. Spielman,
Yes,
Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, so we will handle these items in consent agenda by a 7-0 format. Ms. Sensky, would you like to read them for us?
Ordinance number 2021-60, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with J. Severino Construction Company for the purpose of making repairs and improvements to a Lake Road, South State Route 531 storm outfall in the total amount of $210,593.32. Ordinance number 2021-61, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Bob Ross Auto Group for the acquisition of a GMC 3500 truck for water pollution control through the state cooperative purchasing program. Ordinance number 2021-62, an ordinance to make supplemental increases to appropriations in the general, public health, nursing, special projects, and water pollution funds for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Ashtabula, state of Ohio, for the period January 1 through December 31, 2021. Ordinance number 2021-63, an ordinance to enter into an agreement with IEN Risk Management Consultants, LLC, for the purpose of providing health insurance consulting services for the city of Ashtabula in the amount of $10,000 per year for a period of 2 years. Ordinance number 2021-64, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into change order number 2 with AP O'Hara for the purpose of implementing quantity additions and deletions for work performed to the contract in the amount of 0, and to increase the contract period by 724 days from May 12th, 2019 to May 5th, 2021. Ordinance number 2021-65, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into 2 agreements for educational stipends in the amount of $12,000 each with persons who are on the current civil service list for hire by the police division and who are attending the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy upon certain conditions. And ordinance number 2021-66, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Custer's Water, a division of Custer Zima Corporation, in an amount not to exceed $231,015 for the purpose of providing services and materials for the water pollution control, mechanical bar screen and screenings, washing and compacting equipment project.
Thank you, Ms. Sensky. Is there a motion to waive the reading of this legislation?
So moved, Ward 1.
Ward 3
Second.
second.
Ms. Foglio moves, Ms. Young seconds. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich.
We will waive the reading. Yes, we will waive the reading by a 7-0 vote. On waiving charter requirements of 2 readings,
So moved, Ward 1.
Ms. Foglio moves. Mr.
Second, Ward
Roskovich.
4.
Oh, Ward 4, Ms. Harris was second. Thank you. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, and on a 7-0 that passes. Then on the adoption of these resolutions,
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich.
yes. All items have passed by a 7-0 vote. Thank you. Is there any unfinished business to bring before council this evening? No? All right, any new business? Matters that may be new to this agenda?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I don't know if this comes under new business or not, but Mr. Franklin, with the 4th of July coming up, I just wondered if you would give your spiel on fireworks, because down here in the harbor area, I've gotten some complaints about fireworks already. So if you would.
Well, the law in this area is in a state of flux, but it is still unlawful in the city of Ashtabula under our charter, our home rule powers, to set off fireworks. It's just unlawful. It's also extremely unsafe. You know, you're doing explosions. Yes, they're small explosions. Yes, they're fun. But they're explosions nonetheless. You know, your fireworks are packed with black powder. So what I say each year is, please be cautious, please be reasonable, be a little bit kind to your neighbors, because they're putting up with you basically violating the law for your fun. And if it goes overboard, if there are sufficient complaints, the police will respond and you will be cited into court.
And that's a misdemeanor, the 4th degree, is it not? Or
It is.
it is. And a lot of the times the complaints I get is not really for the people, it's more for their pets. I think people complain to me because of their pets.
Yes, your average dog or cat does not understand it's the 4th of July.
No. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fogel. Thank you, Mr. Franklin. And, anything else for new business?
Mr. President,
Yes.
just a reminder that this weekend is kind of our first go with opening festivals back up in the city. So the Beach Glass Festival is this weekend. It is only one day. It's on Saturday between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. We are going to shut down Bridge Street as we've done in the past. That will take place around 6:30 in the morning. And as soon as the festival is over with and the vendors are able to clean up and disperse the street, we will open the street back up. But you can pretty much count on Bridge Street being closed for the majority of the day. Probably, my guess is probably at least until 10 p.m. But if you do come down, please do it safely. Remember that there is still a virus out there. However, I think we're doing better when it comes to the vaccines and things. So we're kind of all anxious, I know, to get out, but please, continue to be cautious when we do. But this will be a good weekend to come out and give it a shot if you feel so inclined. But I know that our merchants along Bridge Street and the festival is eager to see how things go. And it sounds like so far they have a good response as far as vendors for it. So again, that's Saturday between 10 and 8 p.m. And again, the Public Works Department will have the road closed probably at 6:30 in the morning through probably 10 o'clock at night. And there will also be parking restrictions up on the streets to the north and south of Bridge Street. I'll be putting that list out later this week. We'll put it on Facebook and everywhere so people know that. Plus, we do have signs that we have yard signs that we put in different areas as well.
Thank you, Mr. Timoney. Does anybody else have anything for tell us something we don't know? I guess
I do.
You're mingling the two, so that's good. Thank you, Ms. Haynes.
So this Saturday and this Sunday from 8 to 12 at Walnut Beach, there is a volunteer opportunity for anyone on council or in our listening audience. We are still painting the railings at the concession stand. So 8 to 12, Saturday and Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes. Thank you I see you've been busy doing this. So thank you. I would just like to, I noticed I think it's the church on Park Avenue. I think it's the Presbyterian Church across by the library. I see they have a sign up there celebrating 200 years. Is that, I hope I have the right church there. They have a nice sign up in the front there, kitty corner from Catholic Charities across from where the winery used to be. I think that's the Presbyterian Church. They're celebrating 200 years, I think in Ashtabula. So maybe Ms. Sensky, if you could check on that, and maybe we can give them a resolution. Certainly 200 years is something noteworthy that we may want to note there. So, and also I would like to share, probably many of you have seen this on Facebook. There was, I can't think of the name of the magazine, but they had an article, 10 charming towns in Ohio. Anybody else see that? No, it was 10 charming towns in Ohio, and Ashtabula was number 4. And we had a nice write-up about us on there, little, couple paragraphs. So it was pretty interesting. I can't remember the name of the magazines. Facebook things pop up, and then somebody shared it on one of the pages. So I thought that was pretty exciting. We were number 4 out of these 10. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share with us this evening?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, good.
Yeah, I don't know if this is out of order or not, but there's a youth in Ashtabula who I saw on Facebook. Her name's Taylor Allgood. She just made Express's, the store Express, their advertising page for modeling. She's from Ashtabula Lakeside High School, alumni, I think, from like 2 years ago. So I thought that was cool to shout out because that's a huge accomplishment. So I wanted to say that. But the other reason I unmuted was, as we all know, Juneteenth was signed into law to be a federal holiday recently. And this Saturday, Juneteenth was celebrated at Lakeshore Park. And despite the rain, the turnout was super awesome. We had residents, city officials, school officials, county officials that all joined the celebration. And we also had many local businesses from Bridge Street as well as Main Avenue that donated to baskets. So the baskets were really, really good. Also some places in the mall and other local businesses as well. There was a hula hoop contest, jump rope, tug of war. Participants enjoyed free food, community resources, and free prizes. The community resource agencies that were present were Lake Area Recovery Center, Signature Health, Community Counseling Center, and Community Action. And we also had the NAACP who gave out their Black History and Me Awards. Those were really good. we were able to recognize Miss Stacy Gankis and her boys for her work in the community with youth, and especially with minority youth. And we also gave additional recognition to the Shelby family for Dr. Shelby's accomplishments. So they were presented with plaques and were able to share some words. And lastly, other recipients were those of the Gus Powell Awards, in which there are 3 categories, a foundation, trailblazer, and mover and shakers. The foundation awards went to Ira Young and Lavette Hennigan. Trailblazer awards went to Steve Sargent and Emery Moore. And mover and shaker awards went to Patrick Haywood and Sally Bradley. And I just want to, I don't know if you're able to see this very well, but these are what the awards look like. So they were really nice. This is Lavette's. I'm going to be taking this to her. But they're really nice awards, and they were made by, what's it called? The Framed Place on Main Avenue. I'm going to say the name wrong, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Framed on Main Ave or something like that.
Playoff trophy. Is it playoff?
Maybe. Is it called, like, is there something
Look
framed
on-
on Main Avenue?
Framed on Main.
Look on the
Framed
back.
Main.
Look on the back of Lavette's.
That's thank you. Yes, it's playoff.
Playoff.
So just really excited that there was a really good turnout. We're really encouraging persons if they would like to be a part of the committee and planning for next year. I mean, it's going to be an annual celebration. No one is excluded from being a part of that celebration and or being a part of the planning. It is a community event. So I'm encouraging any and all that want to be a part of it to reach out and thank all that came out. I saw President Roskovich there and some others. So I appreciate you all that donated, supported, showed up, shared something, whatever you did. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, and congratulations on all your hard work. It was a nice event, and so congratulations to you also. Anybody else have anything? Okay, remembering that we have an executive session. Mr. Timonier will turn off the volume. When we come out, there will be no action. We will just adjourn our meeting. So thank you everyone for watching. Next week or next month, we will be back in person at City Hall, but we'll still be on TV, right? Yeah, because
Yes, Mr. Raskovich,
Yeah,
and
we
just,
will still be streaming and everything. Yeah.
okay.
just a reminder, you decided 6 o'clock for the pre-council meeting and 7 p.m. for the regular meeting. And yeah, it will be streamed like normal.
Right. Okay, and we are still, because I know quite
Old normal.
a few people are watching, so that's nice. I'm glad to see that, and we'll be in person next time. So there's an opportunity for autographs if anybody wants on. Okay, thank you. So we are going to go into executive session at this time. Okay, all our pictures are up there again.
You're all set.
All right, we will adjourn this evening's meeting. Everybody have a good week. Have a safe week, and thanks everyone. Goodbye.